Hey everybody, my name is Jessub Flower. I am a screenwriter, educator, and all-around training, learning, and development nut. And welcome to the My Favorite Teacher podcast. That's right. Welcome to the My Favorite Teacher podcast, where we believe that every great person has a favorite teacher. My goal is going to be week after week to be able to have different kinds of people from all different walks of life, and just a huge diverse group of people that are all sharing their story of their favorite teacher. I want to do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I really want to add some positivity to the world. I think it's really important for us to be able to have some stories of encouragement and just things that people learned in their life to help them become who they are in life and kind of add to their level of success. We're going to have people that are famous. We're going to have people that are not famous. We're going to have different mixes of people that have various levels of success. And I'm excited to hear about those stories. And I think other people are out there as well. The other thing that I think it's going to do is I think it's going to encourage those that are teachers and are currently educators right now, because it's tough. Like, it is, as speaking as somebody that has done college teaching and even some adult education and different levels of teaching, it's one of the most difficult jobs that's out there. And let's face it, we all know that they're not paid exceptionally well. So there's something that's in them that makes them want to do that and show up day after day. At first, when I was coming up with the idea of this podcast, I was thinking, it might be fun to have some like horror stories as well, as far as teachers that didn't do such a good job. And then I changed my mind about that, because honestly, I want to keep this completely all more of a positive feel and a positive vibe. So again, with just me today, this is more of an introductory episode, obviously, probably going to be episode number 1. And I hope you get a chance to understand what it's like. Maybe what I'll do just really quick is just kind of share one of my stories. I have a lot of favorite teachers, but one that pops into my mind right off the bat is somebody that was my English teacher in junior high. Basically, I remember having her in 6th grade. I don't think I had her in 7th grade, and then I had her in 8th grade. And her name was Mrs. Morgan. Her name was Sue Morgan. And I remember that she was one of those teachers that was a little bit more strict. She was somebody that is, really just kind of toe the line, and you kind of needed to do what you needed to do in her class or you would get in trouble. And that's not necessarily why I liked her. But I do remember that was something that instilled in me a value of excellence, I guess. When I look back and I think of my own school career, I was somebody I've always liked education. I've kind of always liked school. And just like any kid, it's not like I looked forward to going to school every day. I had my times that I didn't want to go, but it was fairly easy for me as I went along. And so I found that pretty early on I could kind of coast. And when I finally got to Mrs. Morgan, she was the first teacher that I remember turning in one of my first assignments for her that I completely just waited until the last minute, completely just phoned in and turned in. And I remember getting a really bad grade on it. And at first, you'd think, well, why is that important? Why was that so impactful to you? It wasn't just the grade, but what was interesting is she wrote a note on it and said, "I know you can do better than this." And for some reason, wherever I was in my life at that time, as a 12-year-old child, it really stuck with me. And it kind of woke me up a little bit and challenged me enough in the way that I needed to be challenged. And so from then on, it became a goal to not phone it in anymore. And so the next one I remember turning in, getting a better grade on it, but then having a lot of corrections and a lot of notes on it that basically were things that she said I needed to do and work on. And then it became a challenge for me. And I'll never forget turning in, things. And then as we started to get more and more into the school year, I remember having an assignment where we had to write a story. And I wrote the story and turned it in. And I was anticipating, maybe this is the one that I get back. And it's, maybe a little bit better than what I got before, but it's going to have a bunch of corrections. And then I remember her on the grading day for those stories, I remember her basically starting to say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to read a couple of these out loud, and kind of having a little bit of a panic because I wasn't sure what that's going to look like. And then she read one story that was good, and everybody was like, oh, that's pretty good. And she talked about some things that needed to be fixed. And then she basically said, I'm going to read one that really surprised me. And she read my story. And she kept the names anonymous, which was awesome because nobody knew. And then we all, of course, talked about it afterwards, like, whose story was that? But when she read my story, I remember having such a sense of pride that popped up into my heart. And I was like, I felt so proud of myself. And because of the fact that literally would have never happened if she didn't push me in the beginning of the class. And I mark that as a time that honestly was the first time that I got outside feedback on one of my stories, one of my creations. And that was outside of mom and dad. You know what I mean? Because mom and dad read it, this is the best thing ever. But it was the first time on the outside that I had an honest audience input that was positive for sure. And that did a huge amount. But I remember being so proud of pushing myself to go to the like a better level and not just phoning it in. So thank you, Sue Morgan. I also remember going on an 8th grade trip with her. She took us all on an 8th grade trip that we went to Santa Cruz, of all places, the Santa Cruz Boardwalk. And she was also just fun. You know, she kind of broke free from the normal strict. I remember being strict on the trip too and making sure that we all followed the rules, but she had fun with us. She rode on a roller coaster with us. And I remember just thinking, this is the best human ever. And so, you know, Sue Morgan, my memory of you is awesome. I don't know if you're still around, but you made a big impact in my life. And you were my favorite teacher. So this is the kind of thing that I'm hoping to do. And I hope, if mine was not engaging to listen to, I apologize. I hope you give this podcast a chance and that there's a guest on there that you might be interested to hear what their favorite teacher is. But this is the kind of format. It'd probably be about a 20, 30-minute podcast would be my guess. They'll also, share their plugs and stuff like that afterwards. As far as my stuff, you can find me on IMDb under Jessub Flower. You can see my movie that I wrote along with Thomas Marchese called From Black, which stars Anna Camp, John Ailes, and Jennifer LaFleur and Travis Hammer. And definitely check that out. It's on AMC Plus and it's on Shudder, and I think you can get it pretty much anywhere where you want to rent it as well. So thanks so much for listening. I hope to see you next week, and have a great one out there. Take care.